Sort of out of sorts, and I kept seeing that there were messages coming through on Facebook, and I was driving, so I really didn't have time to read all of them. Some of them I did. I was a little confused, and then during the evening I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just ask everybody tomorrow. So, um, if you posted a question or if you had a response, Tristan, we've already taken care of you. Is there anything I needed to address? There was also something that I don't know if I read it correctly, but somebody had mentioned something about a video. What did you mean by that?
I just asked if
Oh, his video. Got it. Because I have some videos on YouTube, but I couldn't remember if I made that video accessible to you guys. I didn't think I did, so I got confused, and then if I remembered that we do have a videographer for our class. Good. So did that get addressed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any other things that we need to talk about? Any other issues before I move on to the next step? No? No? No problems. We good. Okay. I also realized, and I think this was again through your post, I think it was pointed out that there were just a slew of instructions that were given. And so having the video really does help. But today's class is going to be even more information that I'm going to be giving you. So we're going to amp up the instructions. Once again, I need you to take copious notes. I need you to pay attention. And most importantly, I need you to ask questions if there's something you don't understand. Okay? So this assignment is your assignment for the weekend. It is Photoshop based. And I am going to demonstrate to you how I would like for you to work. And I need my glasses. Now, keep in mind what I said before about Photoshop. I'm going to show you a specific way to do things, but by no means does that mean you have to do it that way, especially if you're well versed in Photoshop and you know how to do things in different ways. Just so long as you get to where I want you to get, that's all I care about. But if you're not familiar with Photoshop and you kind of need sort of guidance with it, follow what I do, you're going to be fine. Okay? Okay, so for this assignment, oh no, where did it go? I lost my folder. Shoot. Oh, I know what I can do. Photoshop. And open recent. Well, damn it. Let's see if I took me a while to find it this morning, and I found it, and I stupidly closed the file. And all images, projects. Come on, Ed. Sign sheets. Grid. Make center. Color intro A. Try another one. Classes. Color tech. And binary demo. That's it. Or is that it? Ooh, we like that. I want to keep that. Demo tone. And then propaganda, photo edit, that's it. Found it. Perfect. Okay, so. Perfect. Okay, so for this project, that's the one I want. Okay, so for this project, you are going to start off with one of your full range value portrait, okay? And to start off with one is what I want you to do. So make sure you have access, and it has to be in grayscale, and it has to be cropped to the square format. Well, actually, it really doesn't have to be, but I'm going to use that anyways because we've already got it set up. So the first thing I'm going to do, and the reason why I'm actually using this one is because you did adjust it to full range of values. If you want to use another photograph that you didn't adjust, make sure you adjust it to a full range of values, okay? So I am going to set up Command N, a new file in Photoshop, and I'm going to set it up in inches, and I want it to be 6 inches by 6 inches by artboard, okay? And the color mode should be grayscale, RGB grayscale, and create. Here's my 6 by 6 square, untitled, and let me call this Shift Command S. I'm going to set up a folder on my desktop, and I'm going to call this Compositions, plural, and I'm going to call this one file Comp A, PSD is a Photoshop file. Save, okay, blank space. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my portrait, and I'm going to do Command A, select all, Command C, copy, and then I'm going to go to the blank page and Command V, paste. All right? Now you'll notice that the image is oversized, but I also want you to notice if you have your layer palette up, every time I paste something in, it comes in as a new layer. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, obviously this is really, actually I like it really big, but for this sake demonstration, I'm going to show you how I can scale it down. And I want to talk about scaling images. So I'm going to click on layer 1, which is where my portrait is. I'm going to go to edit, go to transform and scale. And so it shows me the entire image on the artboard. And this is where I want to make a very important point here. And somebody had actually done this last night. And I made a specific point about this that I want to address today. In Illustrator, if you select something and you want to scale it down in exact ratio, hold down your Shift key, click on an anchor point, and you drag it, and everything stays within proportion. That is the opposite with Photoshop. In Photoshop, if I hold down my Shift key, it's going to allow me to, if I hold down my Shift key, it's going to allow me to stretch an image or distort the image. That is verboten. You do not do that. Don't ever stretch or manipulate a photograph that way. With Photoshop, again, it's the opposite of Illustrator. Don't hold down the Shift key. Click on an anchor point and you can scale it up or down by just holding down the anchor key, the anchor point. Okay? Good? All right. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to delete this because I think I'll go back to the original file. Let me delete this and I'm going to go back to my original. Oh, no, I'll do it here. Okay, so did I scale it? Oops. Sorry, scale it. Yeah, I can do it here. Edit, transform, scale, don't hold down your Shift key, and boom. Okay. So you're going to create a composition using your portrait and using your research. And the one thing that I want to make one of many things that I want to make real clear to you is I do not want these compositions to be scrapbook style. And what I mean by that is, here's your 6x6 scrap. I don't want sharp boxes, rectangles of photos just placed next to each other. That's what I call the scrapbook, okay? Instead, I want the composition to be one fully integrated composition that is seamless, a photo composite, which is what I'm going to show you what to do. So that being said, I don't want this square on square. I hate this. And typically, if you're not well seasoned with Photoshop, you will do one of many things that Photoshop allows you to do, which I consider horrible. One is the magic wand tool. You select the background and you delete it, and that's horrible. Another way that students typically do it is to get the eraser tool and to start erasing, and that is horrible. I do not want you doing that, okay? Instead, what I want you to do is what I'm about to do right now. What I want to do is I want to get rid of the background. And in my opinion, the best way to get rid of the background is to zoom in really super big, select your pen tool. And this is where the experience in e-drawing comes in very handy, because what I want you to do is draw, using your pen tool, a silhouette around your figure. Now you'll notice that I'm being sort of general with the area that I'm selecting. Sorry, with the following the line contour. And you'll also should notice that I'm clicking and dragging. I'm not doing a click, 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 which means that I want a smooth silhouette all the way around the image, okay? And I'll do this real quick. And the good thing about Photoshop now is if you make a mistake, oops, you can always undo it and redo it, continue your line, oops, undo, and click, click, click. And I zoom up so that I could put down as many or as little anchor points as possible. This is in the white area. I'm going to do it here, here, here. And then I want to complete my path. Okay? So if I scroll down, I've just created a path all the way around her. And this is the area that I want. This is the area that I don't want. Next step is select window, path, or paths. And this is the path palette. Select your path, go to the upper right hand corner and click on it and save the path. And we'll call it path 1, or you can call it figure. Because you might have different paths that you want to save within one composition. So it saved the path. Now I want you to go back to that upper right-hand corner, make selection. Now, this is very important. A feather radius. Make selections, feather radius in the rendering. What this means is the softness of the edge. If I had a 0, it would give me a really hard edge, which I don't want. If I had a 20, it'll give me a really super soft edge, like, halo around it. I found that my recommendation is a feather radius of 4 is perfect. Okay, and you'll see in a little bit what that does. So I'm going to let it be at feather radius of 4, tell it OK. See what happened. Now I've got dancing ants, or I have a marquee that has selected this area. But I want to get rid of this area. I don't want to cut and paste this. I don't have to. I want to select it. So what I'm going to do is, using that, I am going to go to select and inverse. And watch what happens when I do that. It selects the negative of the positive. So now what I can do is delete it, and it deletes my background. And then, because I had a feather radius of 4, Command D, watch what happens when I zoom up. Look at that soft, beautiful edge. That's a feather radius of 4. Okay? So far, so good? Good? Okay. So now we have our figure, and now what I can do is place her in my composition. All right? Now what I want to do is go into my research folder and start pulling in my research images. Okay? And so earlier, I'm going to do Command O, open. I found that B. That B was so cool. Desktop, where did I find that B? Is it in compositions? No. Classes.
Demotone.
Demotone, thank you. Oh, there. Great B, right? I want to use that B. So I'm going to do this differently. So I'm going to open up the B in Photoshop, and I'm going to select all of it. And I'm not going to silhouette it. And I'm not going to silhouette it because it's got all these tentacles and it would take me forever to silhouette it. But because I've got a white background, I'm going to select it all. I'm going to copy it. Go to my composition. Nope, I can put that away. Go away. Open up my composition and Command V paste. And you'll notice that the B comes in when I paste it. Under layers, it comes in as its own layer. Okay? And the thing is that the B, I want to scale it down. Maybe I don't want it this big, or maybe I do, but I'm playing with it. Again, transform, scale, don't hold down your shift key, scale it. And now the problem is that the white is covering over my figure. Watch this. It's really great. What I can do is, if I go to my layer palette, do you see where it says normal? Select normal and select multiply, and it goes away. All the white goes away. So now I could put the B in my composition. Oops. Now, I kind of do like the fact that the B, you could see it's transparent here. But let's say we want her to be in front of the B. Then all I need to do is, boom, move the layer down one. So working with layers, and you'll notice that I did not, when I opened up the B, and it was in color, when I copied it, the B was in RGB. When I copied it and brought it into a grayscale composition, it immediately converted it to grayscale. Okay? Good? All right. Let's go get, and so because I have that, I'm gonna move Mr. B up here. I don't know, could have, and then I'm gonna get one more image. Do I need another image? Yeah, why not? And Command O, open, and prompts? No. Let me go back over to my desktop. And, oh, I've got a Velvet Monkey. Photoshop. And so there's my Velvet Monkey. And for the sake of time, I'm gonna, again, silhouette it. This time I'm gonna do a real fast silhouette, guys, so I have more time. You know what, I'm getting too sloppy, sorry. Maybe I won't go so fast. So I'm gonna silhouette it again. For those of you that missed it the first time. And the more you do this, the quicker. And notice that I'm not doing every single little hair. Oh, I know why I want to do the monkey, because I'll show you what I want to do in just a little bit. Oops, it's easy. I'll get a little bit more hair. We do like our undo button. And okay, good. And so we have our silhouette, and then again we go to paths and we save our path. Okay, and then we select our path, feather radius 4. Okay, this time I'm going to select the monkey. I'm not going to invert it out yet. Okay. And then I'm going to take Mr. Monkey and go to Comp A and paste him in. Oops, and paste him. Did I copy him? Command C, copy, and go over here. Command V. Why? Oh, layers. Why isn't it coming in? Hold on one sec. Delete layer. Delete layer. Go back over here. I'm in this layer. I selected it. I copied it. Go over here and paste it. But it's not coming in. Oh, I know why.
Is it off screen?
I know why. It's off screen. You're right. So go to image and scale. There it is. There it is. Okay, it's always the easy. So I'm going to scale them down. And I'm going to put them here. And I want that little branch in there. Okay. So right now, I really don't like how the bee and the monkey are sort of competing with each other. So watch this. I'm going to turn off the monkey, and I'm going to turn off the figure, and I now just have the bee. I'm going to select the bee layer, and what I can do is, like we did before, go to brightness and contrast, and I could change the brightness and contrast or the effect of the bee. Got it? And, okay, and I really want to try to make it really muddy gray, grayscale. Mode, adjustments, and I don't want to go lighter. That's darker, cancel. Let me try another filter. Image, mode, adjustments, exposure, and offset exposure. Nope, nope. Ah, cool. Okay. Maybe I want to do something like this. Play with. Oh, here we go. Cool. I like that. All right. And so now I'm going to turn on my layers again and look how. Do you see how I could play with the contrast and the value scale? of each layer, and it still doesn't work, but you get my point. So maybe now what I need to do is just move the spider over or do something with the spider. But again, you'll notice how it's not a scrapbook. Everything's being integrated to it, okay? I also don't like the fact that I have a lot of white space in here. It's not looking like a full composition yet. So I'm going to add things, I'm going to scale things up, I'm going to move things around, I'm going to create, I'm going to compose. Okay? So far so good? All right. Your job is going to be, you need to create 4 different propaganda posters. Totally different. You can use the same portrait if you wish, or you could use different portraits of you. What I don't want is I need all 4 compositions to look radically different. So I don't want the same portrait, same place, same scale, different background. Same portrait, different background. I don't want that. I want totally different compositions, okay? I want it to be seamless. I want the negative space to be addressed in the positive spaces. Earlier I said I did not want you to use writing. I do want you to use writing. As a matter of fact, let's say that my propaganda, and I just did not do this intentionally, but let's say my propaganda is, I don't know, kill monkeys and bees because monkeys eat bees or something. Sir?
You say stop killing monkeys and bees.
There you go. Stop killing monkeys and bees. That's my call to action. That's what's called a call to action. What do you want your reader, your viewer to do? I want you to stop killing monkeys and bees, okay? You come up with a call to action, one caveat. It cannot be in English. It must be in a foreign language that you do not speak. So you can use Google Translation, you can go to your roommate who's from China, you can go to your professor who's from Germany, or you can ask your best friend who's from Poland, how do I write this phrase in your language and put it on here? And the thing is, hold on one second. The thing is that your type is as important as your image. So the style of font that you use, the size of it and the area in which you place it and how you place it is critical. Okay? Stop killing bees and monkeys. Should it be in some kind of fancy script? Well, no, that would be like an invite to a cocktail party, right? We want them to stop killing the bees and the monkeys. What font says that? What size says that? What value says it? It's a call to action, okay? The message is as integral to the composition as each image that you're using, okay? And the reason why it's got to be in a foreign language is because propaganda is for the illiterate. I have to be able to look at that poster and not necessarily just read it, but the message visually has got to tell me to stop killing the monkeys and bees. Got it? More questions? Son, did you have a question?
I was going to ask, does it matter how many pictures are on it?
Glad you asked that. Because, first of all, before I answer that, I want to share with you, I want you to have fun. I want you to create as many compositions as you want. I want you to create as many call to actions as you want. I want you to play with Photoshop. By the way, when you can start off using your research, but some of you are going to hit a point and go like, oh, damn it, I wish I had, brought in I need a refrigerator for some. You can go to Google and pull in more research. You're more than well, you're not stuck on the research that you've submitted. Okay, as a matter of fact, you're going to, now at this process, you're going to realize your shortcomings on your research and you can go get more research. You're not stuck with what you submitted. And I encourage that. The whole point behind the research was to get you started with something. Okay? But you have total freedom to get as many different things as you want that you need now. Because now you know what you want to communicate. Now you know what you want to do. And again, I need you to have fun doing this. Okay? Let's say you do 8 or 9 compositions. At the end of the weekend, I want you to pull your best 4 and submit them. Okay? Question?
What is the name of this assignment?
I'll get there in a little bit.
Alright.
Yes, ma'am.
If we want to take more different self-portraits, can we do that?
Absolutely. Yes. Anything goes on this, just so long as they are different compositions and they're good propaganda posters.
Okay.
Okay? What else? Okay, let me show you something else. So, this project is all about process, how you work, okay? So let me share with you that this entire project, 4 compositions, 12 compositions, can actually be done with 1 Photoshop file. And the reason why I say that is because I could, in turning off things, I could bring in new things and new layers, turn them on, turn things off, and so on and so on, okay? But let's say I'm at a point where I like this, and I want to use, actually let me, and say, so once you have 4 compositions you know that you believe in, that you want to submit, what you're going to do is you're going to open up Adobe Illustrator 8 1/2 by 11, and you're going to import 1, 2, A, B, C, and D JPEG files of your compositions, just like you did your composite. Okay? And I'd like for you to identify them as A or 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the top one is the one that you think you want to keep in mind. One of these you're going to be painting with paint, with brush, okay? So you are very much going to have to identify which one of these are you going to commit to painting. And so this project is very, very important. Let me do one more thing. I'm going to share something with you. So, and you remember how the last project I told you how to be able to archive and save as. Let me show you a different way with Photoshop. If I get something that I like, and I put in my type, let me put in my type, and A, B, C, D, and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to change it and scale it, give it a good font. Oh, cool. Scale it. Oops. Easy. Oops. Going too fast. And give it a font that works. Oh, I like that. Okay. And then I'm going to place it. Okay. So let's say I like this. This is what I want to do. What I can do now is, instead of going through the process of save as, I can go through File, Export, and Export As, and Export as a JPEG file, and OK, Export, Comp A or Comp 1, JPEG, Save, cancel Comp 2, and save, and it now saves it as a JPEG file. Whoops, let me close all these windows. Demo. Nope, that's not it. Where'd it go? Government packs, residents. Anybody see my folder?
What's it called?
Huh?
I said, what's it called?
Where?
Compositions?
Ah. There, oh, no, it didn't save it there. Doggone it.
Procons? Oh yeah, you put it in
Let me do it again. So go to File, go to Export, and Export As, JPEG, Export. Ah, because I didn't, I'm gonna save it on the desktop. JPEG, and where's the JPEG? Ah, here it is, JPEG, okay. So I could now import that JPEG into Adobe Illustrator just like you did your compositions, okay? What is this called? It's called, shoot, prop posters, propaganda posters. It's due on Monday before class. You're welcome to take snapshots. Oh, what I wanted to say is, and let me close this down because I'm running out of juice here. Is there anything else you want to see with Photoshop? Nope? Okay, good. There's several points that I need to make to you. Under quit, don't save, don't save. Ah, quit, 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 and sleep. Okay. This is a project that you're going to be living with for the next 8 weeks. So doing this on a Sunday night within 1 hour, and you could really care less about this, I promise you, you're going to be tortured for the rest of the semester because this is not something that your heart is into. This is a pivotal project, and what I mean by that is this project will resonate in here and in here pretty much for the rest of your life. This is a project that not only captures where you're at in the time that you're living in, but it's the kind of project that you're going to look back on and talk about. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times I'll take a photograph of the class results of the project, and I do have a Facebook group, an alumni group of designers that have gone through the program. Across the board, people will respond about where their portrait is. It's hanging, it's been framed, they gave it to their grandmother, they remember the project, they remember this. And you too, this project will resonate for you, and partly because it's not only about what you believe in, but it's also about who you are now and how much time you put into it and how much effort you put into it. So and I promise if you blow it off, you're just going to have a hard time with it. You're going to be spending a great deal of time painting it. You're going to spend a great deal of time thinking about it, talking about it, and it's worth one entire letter grade, okay? So this will become part of who you are and what you become. And I don't mean to sound arrogant with that, but I'm really telling you that typically it has an impact on students, okay? So keep in mind that when you select your best image, you're going to be committed to painting that image. When I review these, I might, if it looks like you just kind of blew it off, or if it looks like you've got like 90% of black, a black background because you figured you're going to be real smart, and since you have to paint it, all you have to do is paint black, I'm going to reject it and say, these are horrible, you need to do them over, okay? So I'm going to be making sure that you're going to have a composition that is absolutely worthy of being painted, okay? Any questions? Did I address everything that you needed? Yes? Have fun doing this, okay? Have a good weekend.